Good day, good people. It's Lisa Nar here with Bliss Waist Ice Beads, and we're talking mask chains. Say it slowly because with the gap, things become a little bit more difficult. So get your tools. You know our usual stretch magic. And we're going to play with two sizes, but today's demonstration, I'll go ahead and work with the 0.5 millimeter. So grab yours. Grab your beads. You can work with any size for your mask chains simply because any size works. So grab your bead spacer, and this is most likely a 6 millimeter, but you can go with whatever size works for the elastic that you're using. You'll also need a jump ring, so be sure to grab one of the handy tools there, and your lobster claw. And that would be the clasp that will add to both ends. So you're going to need 2 for each end, both for your jump ring and your lobster claw. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to use the 0.5 millimeter today, just for easy demonstration, but any string would work. And we're also going to use the bead spinner. So if you're not familiar with that, check out the Beadalon bead spinner. For me, I'm old-fashioned, so I'm going to use the manual, but they also have an electronic one that I'm hearing works fabulously. So for your measurements, I'm going to go with about 25 inches, but feel free to go with anywhere between 20 and 30, because for the mask chain, it really just depends on how long they want to wear it around their neck. And for the males, I usually go a bit longer. For the kids, anywhere between maybe 10 and 15 inches, but on average, about 20 to 25 inches will work perfectly for this project. All right, so you grab your elastic. For 0.5 millimeter, I'm using beads that are about 8 by 0. So in that case, you won't have a problem doubling up on the elastic. I'm going to also use my jump ring tool. So if you're not familiar with this, it definitely helps with opening up the jump ring. Now, I'm using this the way I figured out works best for me. I'm pretty sure if you do some YouTube search, there's a better way to go about this, but I don't have time. I'm really working on different waist beads and orders, so really I just had to figure out something that worked for me and really just try to have it just kind of get in there. So first try didn't work exactly as I planned. See that there, but on second attempt, kind of go in between the wires there and twist it a bit. It gives you that opening to stick your lobster claw right through the hole. So you'll grab your lobster claw hole and stick it right through your jump ring. And I slightly twist it through, and voila, it's on. So you're all set there. And I like to have 2 ready to go because for this project, we're going to use lobster claws on both ends of the string. So you'll start with the hole of the jump ring, and we are going to stick the elastic through the hole. Once you have that set, you're then going to tie your first knot. If everyone's familiar with the knots, it's like the way you tie your shoe. And we're going to send it through. So I'm using 0.5 millimeter. So I try not to pull as much, but there's a slight like wiggle tug you want to give it because, again, it's elastic, so it tends to loosen up a bit. You'll then send the elastic through the hole another time. And make sure that when you do that, your elastic lays right next to your original knot, because you really don't want too many knots in too many places, because then it makes it difficult to slip through your bead spacer that we're going to use momentarily. So if you notice, I do kind of a wiggle tug there with the elastic, and it works really good with keeping the knot in there. Do a little wiggle without stretching it too much. So I have about 2 knots in. I'm going to throw a few more in. Usually I feel the most comfortable with seeing 4 elastic loops around my jump ring. So some people could go with 3, some people may go with 4. You may even throw a 5 in there, but it really depends on how neat it looks, the size of the elastic. If your elastic is the 1 millimeter, you may only need maybe 2 or 3 knots. So it really depends on what you see and your comfortability, and you really want to know that it's on there nice and strong. So here I think a good 4 knots around the jump ring will do for this project. And maybe I'll give it a fifth. See, I have to think about it sometimes. So once you send it around the jump ring, you'll also make a knot to keep the knots together. So you're going through the jump ring, and then you'll maybe for every 2 knots, you'll come together and give it 1 knot in between to really seal the deal. And then you can take the elastic through maybe 2 more times around your jump ring. So you grab your bead spacer, and this is simply to cover up the elastic knots that I've created at the top. And that's, of course, we want it to be nice, secure, tight, and strong. So the more knots, the better, but you want to make sure that it fits within your bead spacer. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the handy dandy GS Hypo Cement. And this is just another way to secure your knot. Make sure that it stays in place, especially when you're working with elastic string. And you notice here that it has a very fine tip, which is awesome for precision, because then you can really get it onto your knot exactly where you want it. So here I'm having a little tough time taking the top off here, but that's because the glue is so strong, but we'll get it at some point. So take a look at the top and make sure that you know where your knot is. You can lift your bead spacer so that you can place it right at the tip. You can place it on or around, but not too much because you don't want it to spill over. It's all about a real nice, clean, finished touch. And the goal is to stick the tip right inside of your tool so that it doesn't dry up. So from there, you're going to go ahead and stick the bead spacer right onto the jump ring that covers your elastic. Fan it off, let it dry. Now, I would typically let it sit to the side for a few minutes as it dries off, and I'll start another strand. But for time's sake, we're going to keep rolling here, okay? And I like to add a few more knots at the tip if I can, because I know it's secure. What is more knots? It won't make a difference. It won't hurt a thing. It won't hurt our strands to just add more security to it. I'm really big on guaranteeing that our strands don't break, and it comes with a few knots we add there. Of course, the security at the front to make sure that it's nice and tight, and making sure that our snip is in place. So here, want to make sure that you cut the shorter string. Sometimes I'll wrap the longer one around me because if I'm not paying attention, you'll cut the longer string and then you literally ruin the whole process. That's a rookie mistake. Once you do that once, you'll never do it again. So here you take a look. Everything looks nice and neat. You want to give it a little more time to dry. But for the most part, you're nice and set. So here, we're going to get ready to toss our beads into the mix. I'm going to use our Beadalon bead spinner. You can find these on Amazon. They're about anywhere between $16 to $20. And you can also find them on Joann's, Michael's, anywhere you get your crafts. So I'm going to toss it in, and we're going to speed this up a bit because if you've used a spinner before, you know that a big eye needle works best, a curved big eye needle, because that curve really takes on the spin of the tool. So we're going to go ahead and toss a few beads on. Well, notice there that I'm just going to toss them on, and they come on pretty easily because the size of the beads here, they're 8x0, but they work very easily with the 0.5 millimeter string. So within just maybe 5 minutes, you'll have your beads on. In this case, we'll do a solid strand of yellow, but depending on the type of mask you're making, mask chain, you can mix it up, you can customize it, you can add stones, you can add different gems. You can really get as creative as you like. And voila, we're done here. So now that you have the strings set, you have your beads onto your string, I'm now going to add the bead spacer on the other tip of my strand. let it fall right on. And notice what I'm doing here. I let everything hang down. You want to make sure that your beads are as close to each other as possible. If not, you'll notice that you'll get a pinch when you're wearing your waist beads. And in this case, we're looking at mask chains, which are a bit different, so you won't notice a pinch. But anytime I'm getting ready to close off, you just kind of make sure your beads are hanging down. Get a nice little stretch if you can. Make sure they're closed, tucked, tight. They become one. And then you begin the clamps kind of process there. So I'm going to take my knot around one time, and notice that my lobster claw is kind of falling into my strand, which is what I want, because I'm keeping it down because I want everything to fall into the strand to keep it as tight as possible. And I'm always tugging down. So that's important as well. We sent one knot through. We're going to send another knot through the jump ring to make sure that it's secure. I think a good 3 to 4 knots, it's good. And notice I'm sending it around the jump ring again, but you want to keep it close. You want to pull it down. You want to keep it nice and tight, okay? Close to you. So if we're using 2 strands here of the 0.5, it gives us a bit more strength. It keeps the strand a bit closer to the bead spacer, and it just makes for just a bit more security when you're pulling on. But here, working with this one strand, it's still as strong as it can be, but I would prefer to use 2 strands for this type of set. So you go ahead and send it through your bead spacer. Notice I went through the top into the bottom of my spacer, and now I'm gonna go ahead and put a few more knots at the bottom of the bead spacer, and it's going to fall right into the spacer, and I'm going to pull down. So it's a down tug. And typically with waist beads, I would do about 5 knots. With the bead, the mask chain, I would do maybe about the same in this area, especially if the strands are thin, you can add a few more knots. The thicker the strand, the thicker the knot, the more difficult it is to hide your knot under your bead spacer. You also have bead spacers that are about 3 or 4 millimeters that work very well with your thinner strands. So keep that in mind as well. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and clip it for time's sake. But with a strand so thin, I would put on a needle and send it back through my beads because I know there's room for more strength. And I'll send it through as much as I can and then make a final knot maybe in between my beads. But in this case, we'll go ahead and clip it here. And you see a full view of what a mask may look like. And here would be the tip. So keep in mind we use 2 lobster claws. We also use 2 bead spacers. You're going to find your best strand, whatever that may be. In regards to string, I'm using elastic for the stretch because it most likely will fit around the neck. So it's something that stretches would be good. Something with a bit more flexibility, something that's more comfortable. Here's a heart shape. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this video today. And I'm going to add an extra piece because this will give you a better visual of what we have built today. So let's toss in a mask. And prior to this video, I've included a jump ring on each ear of the mask so that it just makes it easier to place it on, but you don't need this. You can fold your string and put your lobster claw right on, and or you can add a jump ring onto your mask, which makes it really easy to pop it right onto your hole, and you have a connection there. So you're gonna pull on the arm of your lobster string, and voila. So here is what it looks like when it's on. It kind of hangs towards the ears, kind of like your glasses chain. And then when you're not using it, you just kind of let it hang on your chest area. You want to obviously keep your mask clean, and what's cool is that you can change your mask out at any time when using your mask chain. So let's get down to business. You have your tools, you have your obviously your machine, you have your snippers, we have our elastic, we have everything we need, and we can't forget our measuring tape. So grab your Beadalon bead spinner, whatever works for you to get the beads on, but be sure to have those things in place, and here you have officially made your mask chain. So you can sell them, you can give them to friends, but they're yours. Enjoy.